Hey guys, it's Ruth here. So, today I want to chat to you about how often do you need to change and tweak your child's routine. Okay, so there is a massive difference between changing your child's routine and tweaking your child's routine, okay? So, when you change their routine, you're literally you're changing their full body clock, okay? So, it's a little bit like jet lag, right? When you actually have a change in the timings of when you do certain things, which also means there is a massive change in the timings of not just sleep, but eating, activity. There's a whole bunch of stuff, right? So your body has to adjust hormonally as well. So when do you change your routine? Obviously, there is a difference between 3 naps, 2 naps, and 1 nap. So you would change your routine then, okay? So that's the only time you change your routine. But along the way, in between those times, those big milestones, so, 3 naps, from 3 naps to 2 naps, it will be between 7 to 9 months. From 2 naps to 1 nap, it will be between 15, 16 months to about 18 months. And then obviously from 1 to 0 is somewhere between the 3-year-old mark, okay? So when you do those, right, those are big changes that you're making, right? You're going to literally overhaul everything that your child is doing in terms of their cycles. Okay, there are many cycles in the body. You're overhauling everything. So that's number one. But we're not talking about changing routine. We all know that. I'm talking about also when do you know when to tweak your child's routine? That's really important because if you don't tweak your child's routine along the way, what's going to happen is that you're going to find a lot of difficulties. For example, you're going to have more resistance towards sleep. You're going to have your child catnapping a little bit more. You're going to have your child needing resettling for their naps. You're going to find that more night wakings, for example. So all the sleep problems that you can think of, that's going to happen when you don't, I guess, proactively or strategically tweak your child's routine along the way. All right, so obviously, in my program, I teach you exactly what signs to look out for. Just like when you go to a doctor, right? And you tell him, okay, I've got this issue, I've got that issue, and I've got this pain and that pain. It sort of comes on at this time, it's worse, and when at this time it gets better at this, and your doctor puts it all together. And the doctor goes, okay, this is a prescription for you. It's the same with how you tweak your child's sleep as well. Okay, there are certain things you need to look out for to be able to go, right, this routine is not working anymore. I need to move along. So how often do you need to tweak? And I mean tweaking, it's just really small changes. It's literally a 15 minutes difference. It could be 15 minutes more awake time, or it could be 15 minutes less sleep. Obviously, it's hard for me to explain this formula here. You kind of get the gist, right? Tweaking means you got to change something. So how often do you need to do that? So the older your child is, the less often you need to do it. But let me give you some specifics, okay? I would say starting from actually with newborns, you're literally changing it every couple of days. Literally every 2 to 3 days, you have to tweak their routine. So I'm not going to talk about newborn because newborn is a whole different kettle of fish. I've got some videos that you can watch, hopefully is being posted out by the time you watch this, and you can go ahead and revisit that, okay? So, but let's talk about starting from about 4.5 months. From 4.5 months to about, I would say about 6 months, 7 months, you need to be tweaking their routine every single week, if not every 2 weeks, okay? So every 2 weeks, so whatever you're currently doing now, it will be obsolete and outdated in 2 weeks' time. You could almost set a reminder for yourself to sort of go, okay, I don't need to overhaul this routine. I just need to tweak a couple of things, okay? It's like when you go to your chiropractor or your osteopath or whatever, it's not like your spine is completely out of place. It's just those little discs that are a little bit off, and when they do that little bit of a tweak, you feel like, oh, it's back into place. But it's not necessarily a major shift, right? It's just a little pop, right? And so that's what you want to do. You want to have a little pop in your routine every so often. So from 4 months, 4.5 months to about 6, 7 months, every 2 weeks, every week to every 2 weeks. And then from about 7, 8 months to about, I would say, 13, 14 months, probably every month, every 3 to 4 weeks. So the duration gets a bit longer, okay? That you need to revisit and tweak. And then after about 14, 15 months to about maybe 20, 22 months, you're sort of tweaking your child's routine every 6 weeks. So every 1.5 months, you got to revisit that and tweak that again, all right? Because what happens is that the sleep needs drop. So your child's sleeping less and less and less as they get older. But they don't suddenly drop it. They just, gradually don't need as much. And at the same token, their wake windows and their wake time also increases throughout as they get older as well. For example, if your child is currently sleeping about 14 hours a day, then it makes sense that they are awake 10 hours of the day, right? But that ratio will start to equalize and drop a little bit when they start having more and more wake time and less sleep, right? So then it might be 12 hours of sleep and 12 hours of wake time. And so you need to make those tweaks accordingly. So I hope that makes sense. So just to recap, when your baby's super little, you got to change them every week to 2 weeks. And then that's from 4 months to about 6, 7 months. And then from about 7, 8 months to about 14 months, you're tweaking them every 2 to 3 weeks, okay? 4 weeks at most. And then when they hit about 14, 15 months to about 18 months, you're tweaking those routines every 6 weeks, okay? And this is when they're solid in their routine. Now, when a baby is going through or a child's going through a nap transition, and I teach nap transition, and there's phases around that too, and there's milestones around that. It's broken up to many, many different milestones that you need to do to transition appropriately. You might be changing your routine slightly every few days. But I just wanted to give you a gist of what it looks like. So if you're not tweaking your child's routine, or it's been ages since you tweaked your child's routine, it's time to revisit that, because this is the way you actually avoid sleep regressions, or at least really reduce that, okay? So I hope this video helps. Start putting in your schedule to tweak your child's routine every so often. And obviously, if you don't know how to do that, you can reach out for help. But yeah, I hope this video has been helpful for you.